kind of the big thing. It's I don't know, it's kind of like gardening, or, I have a lot of plant children in my apartment, and, you learn a lot of good lessons by taking care of a living organism like a plant. But it's like, if you don't nourish the plant right, it's not getting adequate sunlight. It doesn't have, nutrient dense soil. You're not watering it frequently enough, whatever it is. It starts getting pretty droopy, sad, yellow. It's starting to die, really. And it's not like, oh gosh, like, oh, I haven't watered it in 3 weeks. So you can't just like drown it all of a sudden or stick it out in the scorching sun and it doesn't like fix it overnight, right? No, you have to nurture it accordingly for weeks on end. And as those cells are multiplying and regenerating, well, then all of a sudden you have a healthy, vibrant plant again. So, people don't really think about their bodies that way. And of course, people are so out of tune with their body because it's not like any of us are really taught growing up how to know how to really be in sync with our bodies or listen to it or be able to understand all of its signals. And so that's where, any symptom is really just our body trying to communicate with us, which is why I think, practitioners or, clients or patients going through a protocol, they really need to be kind of keeping an eye on their symptoms daily or keeping a journal so that they can, notice those at times more subtle changes of like, oh man, I drank beer and all of a sudden that really flared me up versus, or, so health journaling and just mindfulness in general is so crucial and kind of step one, any sort of healing program.
Yeah, I use a food and mood journal. So, it's a real interesting practice to have people connect the food to the emotion. They don't realize that it's like, how come, at 2:00 every day, I feel this sense of depression, and it's always at like this time. Well, 12:30 is when they eat their bologna sandwich, right? Mm-hmm. And then when that comes in, all the blood comes out of the gut. There's a stress that comes in, and then it's like you feel down, you feel brain foggy, and you feel depressed. And again, it's you're not making the neurotransmitters anymore. You've sabotaged that system, and not to make people feel guilty, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a hard truth, and it sucks to have to change your diet sometimes. But when you start to make those connections, like, oh, white bread makes me feel brain foggy, bologna or processed meats, or even like, Kraft single cheese, makes me feel anxious or tired. So yeah, the mindfulness part is totally a huge element of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love lab testing, that's my life is lab testing practically, but lab testing is so imperfect in itself. It's this, very imperfect snapshot of a moment in time. And, no matter how much lab testing people do, it'll never be able to replace their own mindfulness and getting in tune with their body. And that's, of course, too, that's the difference between, I think, some of these physicians versus like a really good, holistic health coach or something where, teaching that mindfulness, and rather than, okay, here's the question, and then the, dictator clinician gives kind of this black and white answer. It's like, no, you need to teach people how to think and how to be in tune with their bodies. So, I get, clients and people texting me and, picture their bowel movement or like, Brendan, my gut doesn't feel good today. Like, why? And it's like, I have no idea. Like, do you think I know what's going on in your gut right now? Like, what did you do? What did you eat? What changed? Right. So you have to challenge people to think about it a little bit, because it's like nobody's going to be able to figure that out for you. You have to, kind of put it together yourself by paying attention.
Yeah, the photo roll of a holistic practitioner, just full of all kinds of, don't let anybody see that.
Yeah, no, you can get all sorts of interesting things. There's nothing off the table anymore.
No, keep it all on the table. It's going to be a little dirty, but it is what it is.